celebrating 12 years of possibility. Pilot Flying J and Halloran Hilton Hill present Anything is Possible. Today's guest, Jeff and Debbie McElroy, Part 2.
Welcome back to Anything is Possible. This is part 2 of my interview with Jeff and Debbie McElroy because I wanted to dig in. We got to know you a little bit. They have a national ministry. It's called Forever Families, and they're trying to put the forever in families in a culture and in a society where nothing is forever. Everything is disposable. Everything gets tossed out. And so, but I think in our deepest, innermost part, all of us want something that we can anchor to that has a forever feeling.
We were made for relationships and we were made for connection. And every time those connections and those relationships break, part of us breaks with that to a certain extent. We certainly feel the devastation of it.
You know, here's something, and I want to talk about the possibility of relationships in this part 2. And I want to talk about how your work grew. And I know you guys have been associated with and mentored by, I believe, Gary Chapman, who's done a lot of work. I think he did the Love Languages
5
work.
Love Languages,
And so I want to get to that. But I really do believe that if you don't figure out how to make relationships possible, and if you don't become intentional about that, it affects the most fundamental relationship. I believe the most fundamental relationship that you have, first of all, and I say this from a faith perspective, but if you're watching and that's not your thing, I understand that, is your relationship with God.
So do I.
So that's primary. But I think the second most important relationship that a person has is their relationship with themselves.
Absolutely.
Right? And I think a great marriage can give you a context to discover yourself, because you have somebody there that is co-laboring with you. I know that I read this beautiful quote by a writer who was writing about marriage, and he said, basically, you're trying to help bring out the best, the beauty of that other person.
Yes.
That's really what your job is. So if you're trying to discover who you are, if you have somebody that is looking at you and they see the possibility in you, kind of like looking at, like Michelangelo looking at a piece of marble, he said, I see David, and then I just chip away everything that's not David. You have somebody to help you do that. We just don't give people the tools that they need to function well in relationships. And so I wanted to kind of follow up on that thought. What makes it possible? And I want to start the conversation by asking, what makes you possible? Because to be totally honest with you, there's a part of me that doesn't want to buy that you guys are as happy as you give off.
Yeah.
I think that's the natural inclination in this day and age.
Actually, we traveled to Russia to do a marriage conference for a church there, and after the first session, the pastor came out and he told us, my people do not believe you. You are too mushy, mushy, gushy, gushy. And we said, but you knew us and you know that this is real. And he said, I need you to show the people. And so what we did was we brought our children at that age, at that stage, 5-year-old son and our 10-year-old daughter up on stage so that they could ask them questions about our life and how we live with each other. And they proved to that audience that what we were saying was true and real. So,
and we kind of pride ourselves on not trying to come across too Pollyannish, too ushy-gushy. I mean, we know us well enough to know we are not the perfect marriage.
Right.
And so what we do know is we have a perfect God who's been faithful to walk with us through all of our stuff. So we were pretty low-keyed, and they just were. That was just so foreign to them.
Right.
And it's
that whole
unfortunately
concept.
that's where our culture is now.
that's right.
So I can tell you what makes us possible, and any good that you see in us, it is not from us. It truly is whatever God is willing to do in us and through us in spite of us.
You know, I can look at Jeff. People always talk about me making eye contact and really looking at him. And I hear women say, I wish I could look at my husband that way. Well, I mean, my husband messes up. I'm not looking at him
Daily.
that way because he always makes the right decision or because he's, a hero every day, every hour. But I respect him, and there is good even when there's bad. So when he speaks, sometimes when I'm angry at him, I still look at him, and what I'm thinking is, I'm really angry at you, but there's still stuff to love about you. And
All right. So let's pick up on that, and I really want to drill down on what makes a great relationship possible. You're watching Anything is Possible. We'll figure this out when we come back.
Possibility powered by Pilot Flying J, Covenant Health, Home Federal, and the Knoxville News Sentinel. Coming up.
I need my wife to know I'm washing the dishes, I'm vacuuming because I'm pursuing her. It's my way of cherishing her, making her feel secure, not looking for any reward other than that.
Welcome back to Anything is Possible. My guests are Jeff and Debbie McElroy of Forever Families. Thank you for sticking around to talk about what makes marriage, a great marriage, possible, because I know that's the work that you do, and that's what's needed. So where does the possibility start? And I want to start for people who are in second marriage.
Yes.
Because that's the America we live in
That's
now.
right.
Blended families, second marriages, or putting marriages back together.
That's right.
How do you make that possible?
I think the first thing you have to do is you've got to close the last relationship well. You've got to do the work that you need to do to clean up any relational carnage that's left there. The biggest mistake people make is they try to use the next relationship to heal or to fix the previous relationship. And so what you do is you go into the next relationship already wounded and needing healing, and so you immediately are taking from that relationship instead of having anything to give to it. And that's the biggest mistake we make in our country. We only have 3 years on average in between marriages right now in the U.S., and that's not enough time. Most of the time when I'm interviewing or working with counseling a couple that is on a second or a third marriage, my first question is, did you get any counseling to help get healing from that first relationship, that first marriage, that previous marriage? About 90% of the time, I get a no.
I guess I'd go back to intentionality too. A lot of people that help support our ministry and come to our conferences are in second marriages, and the reason they're there is because they're saying, we are going to make this one work. I'm having that idea, maybe the first one did not, but this is going to be the forever. This is going to be it. And so I'm proud of them for deciding, you know what, maybe I didn't do my best, or maybe I did, but I didn't give our relationship, or our relationship didn't work out because the other person wasn't giving their best. I waited and found this person who is going to say, you know what, we're going to work on this because this relationship is worthy of extra work. And so just knowing, this is going to be it. We may have made some mistakes in the past, but we're going to make this marriage as strong as it can possibly be.
Yeah,
So.
I think too many people on their first marriage just think, well, we love each other, that's enough. The emotion of love is not even close to being enough. Now, the work of love, if you're really doing the work of love, that could be, but too few people are just relying on the emotion of love. And they find out that wasn't enough for the first marriage, we better get some more tools for the second.
So you become intentional. So intentionality, though, has its blocking and tackling. It has its fundamentals. It has its ABCs. There's certain things that you have to do. You can have intention, but that intention has to be expressed in behavior. So what must a couple do to realize the full potential of the possibility of their marriage?
Well, I think one thing is, in order to recognize and build on the strength that you have in yourself, the possibility of me and who I can be and the best me I can be, we have to realize that our partner also has really good things. And so there's this whole thing about strengths and weaknesses that is really important. I have to realize that, there's some weaknesses that I have, and maybe some of his strengths could kind of help those weaknesses work out.
But the ability for me or Debbie or anyone to really appreciate the fullness of our spouse's strength, that's dependent on my ability to embrace the fact I have weaknesses. And so I think, as you said, having that relationship with yourself where I can say, I'm not perfect and I need to be okay with me about that. And I need to then be grateful for the fact that God knew I wasn't perfect either, and He's given me a helpmate to kind of fill in the gaps that I've got.
Yeah.
So do you have to, though, orient yourself toward their strengths? In other words, do you have to be a strength finder and a weakness coverer? And by that, I don't mean an enabler,
Right.
but at least you there's a cushion there. You understand that's his weakness, that's her weakness, and you
Yes.
have to have grace to
Yeah.
kind of fill that gap. But you also maintain a healthy level of admiration,
Right.
because I think that's what we all want.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, in our families as a whole, with our kids, we talk about all the time, it's really important for you to catch your kids doing good rather than always catching them doing bad. Because if you don't ever catch them doing good, then what are you inspiring them towards? So I think we also need to do that in our marriages. I mean, what's the thing that he did really good today? I mean, if I can look at that and say, that's a great strength, or that was a great thing for him to do, and build on that instead of that one thing, I can't believe he did that today.
And staying stuck on that.
Yes, and then the whole, we talk about pulling out one strand. We have to be careful about what strand. There's going to be negatives, but
Right.
we can pull out one positive strand, wrap it around the whole ball of yarn.
Sex.
It's a good topic.
Yes.
And it's a good thing.
Amen.
Is that a big part of a possibility-driven relationship?
Absolutely.
You're in favor of this.
Yes. I vote for it.
Work me through
It
this.
has my
then.
vote. Yeah, I think for a lot of couples, sex has become, in fact, this is kind of a scary thing. The majority of couples, married couples now, are claiming to be in sexless marriages. Now, what's sad about that is it's not healthy on any level, not on an emotional level, not on a spiritual level. Because
It's not
it
even
is,
good physically for you not to be having sex on a regular basis.
Yeah, God's okay with it. I think Christians need to remember that. You know, when a man and wife are having sex, making love, God does not walk across heaven and go, "Oh, they're doing it again." I mean, He rejoices in that. He gave them that gift, and so I think people think, okay, we've got to fix the sex. The sex, when a marriage is healthy and good, the sex is maybe 10% of the total equation. I mean, it's the way we celebrate all the things that we worked through. When things are going bad, sex becomes about 90% of the equation because everybody's saying we don't have enough. Ultimately, though, what everybody's looking for is not sex. They're looking for security. They want to feel secure in the relationship. I think the struggle is we go at that security in opposite ways. The more secure the wife feels in the relationship, the more sex she will want to have. The more sex a husband has in the relationship, the more secure he will feel. And so men push for sex first to feel secure. Women are going, wait a minute, I want to feel secure first, and then I'll have the sex.
So how is a good relationship possible when they come at it from totally different, viewpoints? I've got to think about his needs. So whether or not I have the need for sex at that moment or not, I have to think, you know what, it's going to make him feel really good, I mean physically, but also better emotionally if I give him the sex that he needs at that point and the connection that we both need.
And I need to make my goal not using this woman for sex, but cherishing her, pursuing her, not her body. And women know, they smell it coming from a mile away when a husband starts trying to clean the dishes and vacuum, because she knows, I know what you're looking for. I need my wife to know I'm washing the dishes, I'm vacuuming because I'm pursuing her. It's my way of cherishing her, making her feel secure, not looking for any reward other than that.
So you wash the dishes not as a way to talk up on a smash. You're just
Yeah,
you,
I wash
you
the
just
dishes.
you just wash the dishes just to wash the dishes.
I wash the dishes because I can't cook.
Very
So
good.
if she does the cooking, I need to do the cleaning.
All right, let me ask you this. So possibility of relationships. Families, your children, who comes first? Him or your children? Who comes first? Her or your children?
Her. She's going to be here when they're gone.
Her.
This woman right here.
Him.
Oh, definitely. Our kids, we love them, but
Absolutely.
we hope that we've shown them that the foundation of family is a marriage. And if mom and dad love each other and are doing the things that we've been talking about, putting each other first, being selfless instead of selfish, we show our kids that, that this relationship can spill over and make us better parents.
This sets the emotional temperature for their emotional stability. So I love her first, not because I love them less. It's my way of loving them, is loving her first and making sure we're giving them a stable place to call home.
Wow. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, I have a couple of other topics and then we'll wrap it up.
Sure.
You're watching Anything is Possible. We'll be right back.
Coming up,
We know they're going to be attractive people, and we're going to be attracted to them. So it's not about so much the first look, as long as
Right.
it's a look and not a gander.
Yeah.
It's the second look that gets people in trouble. So we guard that second look.
This week, our Home Federal Community Spotlight is on Friends of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Did you know they look out for historic cabins and churches, the black bear population, and over 800 miles of hiking trails? To learn more and see how you can get involved, visit friendsofthesmokies.org. Welcome back to Anything is Possible. This is Jeff and Debbie McElroy. They are from Forever Families, and it's great to have you on the show. They have a national ministry that reaches out to families to try to put some forever on it so it sticks forever. Money.
Or the lack thereof.
Yeah.
When couples say that that's what's splitting their marriage apart, I'll tell you this: if you got a couple that's falling apart because of money, you give them more money, they're still going to be falling apart. It's a teamwork issue. It's not a money issue. They're not managing the money as a team.
So it goes back to that point of being selfless, thinking about the other person and what their needs are, how they think about money, what what gives them pleasure. I mean, you can make every budget in the world, but individually you're not going to stick to it unless it really kind of
Reflects your emotional attachment to that
Right.
money. Everybody's got an emotional attachment to money. And so if we're working as a team, I say her emotional attachment is security. So we need to make sure we're putting money in savings for her. Now for me, it's opportunity and adventure. So if we put everything in savings, but we don't budget anything for the opportunity and adventure, I'm going to cheat that budget one way or the other, because every decision we make is an emotional decision. So I think working as a team,
Yeah.
considering each other's needs as their attachment to that money, and making sure that we're using it as a way of ministering to each other. That's a teamwork issue, not a money issue.
When you say forever, right? Let's say you're driving in your car.
Yeah.
You get to the stoplight. You look over to your right, and sitting next to you in a beautiful convertible Ferrari is the most handsome guy in the world. He's got some bossa nova playing on the stereo, just loud enough to matter, but not too loud to be, obnoxious, right? He's got that wavy hair like he used to like when you were 22, and he's looking at you and you think he's hot, right? Do you roll down the window of the minivan, give him the eye? Do you look at him? Do you go, he looks good? Or do you go, Jesus, Savior, pilot me?
well, actually, neither. If Jeff is in the car with me, I actually say, wow, that guy is good looking over there, because we have that kind of trust in our relationship. Because just because you see it doesn't mean you have to do anything about it.
Right.
I mean, that's part of being human.
Yeah.
But,
People are still attractive when you're married. It's not
That's
like
right.
everybody turns ugly.
So Jeff can go, dang. Can he get a half turn, or does he get a glance? What does he get?
I'll tell you what she
Because
does
you
to
said
me.
we've got that kind of relationship.
When we're on the beach,
Right.
if some beautiful woman walks by in her bikini, Debbie will go ahead, look.
I mean, I know he's going to see her, so I mean, I might as well just let him know, because see, then I know whether he takes another glance.
Yeah.
It's the
It's genius,
the
I'm telling
second that I can
Yeah,
see.
it's genius, because I know she's watching me take in that look. So it's a glance at that point, right?
Right.
And for us, I guess that's part of the way we guard a marriage. We
Yes.
know they're going to be attractive people, and we're going to be attracted to them. So it's not about so much the first look, as long as
Right.
it's a look and not a gander.
Yeah.
It's the second look that gets people in trouble. So we guard that second look.
All
yeah,
right,
and I stopped shopping too.
ah,
I mean, I said yes to this model, this make,
right.
I don't
this
know
year.
why, but she did.
And so I stopped shopping. And I think a lot of relationships, whether they're dating relationships that are really, important to people, or, people who are close to getting married, or they're married for a long time, they just keep shopping. They keep thinking there's going to be a better, something around the corner. I stopped shopping.
60 seconds on social media.
We've got some good friends who struggled in their marriage because of that and wrote a great book about it. And that is another big struggle that we have. Social media and texting means that we can pass notes with anybody and nobody's going to know it. And so we let our guard down, we let our barriers and our boundaries down. We're on Facebook, but it's Jeff, the letter N, Debbie McElroy. So we share that Facebook account because I want anybody to know if they send a private message to me or Debbie are going to read that. And that is a way of just us trying to be intentional about guarding our relationship and our marriage.
I think that most people have to, if you really want to trust each other in this area, whether you have an account together or you always know each other's passwords. You're okay with your spouse picking up your phone. I mean, the whole thing of you always having to guard your phone and it being in your pocket and
That's
it
a
never
red
being
flag.
able, a big red flag. So, got to be careful.
She's got all of my passwords to my email accounts, everything. Not because she asked for them, I gave them to her.
What's the one thing you want to say before you go?
I think for me, especially with the theme of your program, here's what we've learned in our life, whether it is just two people that had a passion for helping kids live in a forever family, who really were not equipped to do all of this, or whether it's us in our marriage that was lasting. It is not about my ability and my resources that makes anything possible. It's about tapping into an eternal resource that makes everything possible for us. It was us saying, okay, God, this is a couple of loaves and fish of talents and abilities that we've got. We'll contribute it to your cause. If there's anything you can do with that, you do it. Lord, here's our I do that we're making to each other. We know how selfish we are. We know how much we still have to learn, and it'll take us more than a lifetime to do it. So we'll give you this I do, and we'll contribute it to your cause. If there's anything you can do with that, you do it. That's what's made everything possible for us.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Our honor, Hal.
We'll see you next time.